Hey there, it's Nev from the EVERBLACK podcast here, just letting you guys know that for the entire month of June, we're taking part in the Starlight Children's Foundation's Stream Raiser campaign, where we're going to try and raise some funds for some sick kids and teenagers and help brighten their lives a little bit. You can donate, share, whatever you can do to help out, it's much appreciated. And we've got some awesome guests coming up for this month as well. All the links are down here. In the meantime, stay positive, stay heavy. Horns high.
Hey, this is Trevor Sternad from the Black Dahlia Murder here, and you're listening to the EVERBLACK Podcast.
Hey, human skull, this is odorous from Guam.
Going to the Fear Factory.
This is George Corpsegrinder Fisher.
This is Jazz from Double Drop.
This is Wade from Our Last Enemy.
Mike Nick from Suicidal Tendencies.
Hey, this is Wednesday 13.
This is
Rex from Kill Devil Hill.
This is Gary from Sepultura. You're listening to EVERBLACK Podcast.
Before we go into this episode, we need to give a shout out to our show supporters, Blacklight Art Design, who are our go-to for all our screen printing needs. Check them out at blacklightad.com.au. RW Promotion, who are the best in the biz for all your promotional printing needs like stickers, flyers, banners, badges, and more. Go order yours through rwpromotion.com.au. The brutal occult clothing brand Electric Witch, who have amazing apparel from shirts, hoodies, hats to beanies and more. Check out their full range at electricwitch.com.au and put in the code EVERBLACK for 20% off your order. Also, Lumberpunks Axe Throwing Club, who have venues on the Gold Coast, Brisbane and Perth and will be reopening very soon. Put in the code EVERBLACK to get 10% off your booking at lumberpunks.com. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the EVERBLACK podcast through Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and Facebook, and check out all our articles at everblackmedia.com. All right, on with the show. Before we get stuck into it, I just wanted to say that, I was listening to you in the car this morning, and I told my 5-year-old all about you, because she was listening in, doing the school run, and she was really impressed. I think you got a new fan. That's cool.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome.
It's awesome for me because I've been trying to introduce her to role models that actually do things and have skills and not just take selfies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a big compliment. Thank you. I'm glad that she enjoys it. Can tell her rock on.
Awesome. I'll show her that. In saying that, is that something that you feel is important and you're conscious of? You get young girls and dudes coming up to you, saying you've inspired them to start playing and stuff like that.
It does happen, but it's very surreal for me because I'm just some person who can play guitar a little bit, but I'm definitely not the best musician out there. There's always going to be somebody better, and there's always going to be something cooler that you could be doing or should or whatever. But I'm just trying to be me. And if that inspires anybody to be themselves, then that's awesome. And just to have the confidence and the freedom, the liberty to go like, this is me, take it or leave it. And what I found is a great acceptance once you can get over yourself, like fear is the only thing that binds you to an ordinary life. So if you're scared of everything, then you're not going to do anything cool ever.
Right. And
if you do something rad and it fails, then you had something that you could learn from. It's only a mistake if you didn't learn, So if it's quite a surreal thing to think that people find it, see me as a role model. I still see myself as the kid in my bedroom playing guitar and looking at all these great guys. So it's weird for me. It's weird. Yeah.
You're saying all these great guys. Who are you pointing at? Who's on the walls?
Well, I'm loving your shirt right now,
Debbie.
Of course. Yeah, of course, big influence. But there's so many to name. Throughout the years, it's always changed, and some have stayed the same, and some have morphed depending on where I've been in my journey. But so many guys. I think everybody from Satriani and Vi all the way through to your more mod players and Tesseract and Periphery and those kind of people. Philadelphia, all of that. So
I hear all of that. Like when I was driving, listening to it, I was like, I hear this. I hear it's like a mixed bag of all these awesome influences, that you've taken and put your own spin on.
I think I steal a lot from everybody. So I listen to such a variety of information of music. So I take all that information and I go, I really like how they used this idea and this concept. And I think it's like alchemy. You just throw everything together and like it kind of pops out however it does, and then boom, there's a song that's something new. So yeah, it's fun.
Well, of course, we are talking about your second EP, Falling Forward, which came out earlier this month, and it's unreal. But to my understanding, the journey to get there was a little bit tricky for you.
It was quite a challenge, yeah. So it's been a year since the first album was released, and now Falling Forward. And 2019 and probably 2020, considering where we are right now, has been quite an interesting walk in my personal life. And it's covered a lot of things. I think the day-to-day, waking up and going to your day job type thing, all the way through to stuff that's been a bit more serious. So I've had a lot of health issues and such, which led me to a very strange mindset, and it was quite a serious thing. So I was I was in a lot of recovery for quite some time, and that heavily influenced the music. It was a whole expression of what was going on and the journey that I had faced, the ups and the downs and the frustration and the things that still need to be overcome, etc., etc. So there's a whole well of just, it can't stay in me anymore and it needs to get out. And hopefully it resonates with other people, to show that like you can do anything and be anyone, because you have a purpose in this world. And if you believe, then cool things happen and you can overcome anything that you're struggling with. It's you'll never be dealt more than what you can handle, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Are you doing all right now? You feeling okay?
Yeah, look, there's still some lingering things. So it's a degenerative disease, so it will get worse. But at the moment, it's like it goes through waves. So at the moment, I'm cool. There are some lasting effects still. Like I've got a little bit of nerve problems here and there. I can't feel, as an example, I can't feel 3 of my 5 fingers on my left hand, but motor function has returned. So like I can move them, I just can't feel them. I suppose it makes an interesting party trick.
Well, I've got to say, it's so inspiring. That's super inspiring.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It's just me going, hey, I'm sick of feeling sorry for myself. Let me try to do something. That's it. That's all it is, really. So thank you.
That's brilliant, mate. And of course, as you mentioned, it was only about a year since Adorned, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, because my Australian, I butcher everything. Sorry. Was that written around the same time? Like, were they both did you have tracks that you were just picking and choosing from that you went through some big creative period,
Mm-hmm.
or was it just part of an inspirational flow that you've just been on?
A bit of both. It's at any given time I have about 10 open projects, 10 open songs that I'm working on and trying to like bits and pieces. It was a very frustrating process because I'm like, I've got this idea, let's write a song, and then I get 2 bars into it and it's like, now what? How about this part? No, that doesn't work. Okay, let's write a whole new song and get 2 bars into that and never, So eventually I have 10 projects open with like 2 bars here and 2 bars there, which eventually either all get chucked or mushed into one. And that's sort of how it comes about. But Adorned, it was quite a difficult album to release just because it was the first and I was quite scared and didn't know how it was going to be taken. And like maybe I was a bit timid with it. And with Falling Forward, I just decided, you know what, take the brakes off, let's have fun. So that was all written in a year, was Falling Forward. Yeah.
It's crazy. I love it. It's so good. And, to be honest, I don't know how you do it time-wise because, I mean, you also have other projects outside of your solo material, which is, Adorned in Ashes, or Adorned in Ash, sorry?
Adorned in Ash, yes.
Adorned in Ash, which is heavy, it's brutal, and, you've got some other stuff going on. How do you, separate your writing and stuff like that, like shifting gears?
It is a challenge. I think in 2018 in particular and 2019, I was in so many different projects and doing a lot of session stuff as well in like theaters with different bands and different things, and was playing so often and it was so different all the time. I think all of those different styles and different genres just kind of like mushed into one, and then I started writing these things that didn't fit anyway, so I put it into like my own solo stuff. It is a challenge. Metal in South Africa is booming, but it's also not like anywhere else in the world. Like a big show here is maybe like a tiny little club gig somewhere overseas, you know. So it's quite different. And because of that, and because there aren't all that many venues to perform at, luckily I have a cool rotation of different things happening all the time. But yeah, I don't sleep very much, let's put it that way.
I was going to ask if you had like a twin that you just clock in and clock out with.
Pretty much. So yeah, I have a very strange like day, I suppose. Like I'm up anytime from like 3-4 a.m. busy playing guitar, doing stuff, and all the way till like it's all good. You can pretty much hit me up anytime and I'll most likely be awake.
Well, that's like when the email came through this morning and I was like, she can't be up. I was like trying to check the time. I was like, that's insane. I didn't want to like send an email, your phone goes off, you throw the phone because you're like, do you know what time it is here? And yeah, obviously.
Yeah, that was like what, 4 a.m. this side, I think. Somewhere around there.
Brutal.
I'm not sure.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I'm used to it.
I was awake. I was awake. I would have replied earlier, but I was busy, so I only saw it afterwards when I got back to my phone. But thank you.
That's okay. Well, of course, I mean, you know, I love your vocals as well. They're super brutal and you've got such a great range. You know, did you start singing at the same time that you started playing? Did that come hand in hand to you? No?
No. Vocals happened completely by accident. I was never supposed to be a vocalist. I never wanted to be a vocalist. In fact, I thought vocalists were very lame because they just pitched up to the show and like didn't do anything.
Hey.
I'm insulting myself slightly here too.
All right.
But I just never like, I never really gravitated towards it. And then when I started listening to metal and I started getting into like a lot of female metal vocals and like Arch Enemy and all that kind of stuff, and then I started going like, whoa, this is actually kind of cool. I wonder if I could do something like that. And it wasn't necessarily because I was a woman that I didn't think of it before. It was just like, it wasn't on my radar. So I started doing a little bit of backing vocals because Adorned and Ash, at the time, we were a 5-piece band. So I started just like doing a little improv on the side every now and then. But the story goes that when we parted ways with our vocalist, that I walked into band practice one day, stubbed my toe on my amp and went, ah! And then they said, nice vocals. You're now the vocalist for the band.
And you play, that's the thing as well, you play and sing at the same time, don't you?
Yeah, I'm lead guitar as well as lead. So it's cool, but it's such a rad band to play with. Yeah, I have a lot of fun.
I can't do it. I don't know how, but you know, some people can just do it. You watch them, like, you know, I went to a Revocation like earlier this year, and man, like he's just like just singing at the same time. I don't know. It's one or the other for me. I don't know how you guys do it.
It's easy. It's metal, so so when in doubt, just sing ABC. As long as you get the rhythm right, it's kind of okay. So you just get it like as you go. I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, it takes some practice for sure. It didn't come naturally. I had to really work at it. And Adorned and Ash, we have a lot of polyrhythms going on. So the vocals are never on the same rhythm to the drums and the guitar. So you have to really split what you're playing here and what you're hearing and what you're singing. So it took a lot of practice. At one stage, I said to the guys, I'm like, okay, the guitar playing we've been doing for a couple of years. So like I can play that in my sleep. Vocals, however. So I actually, at band practice, would do some vocals in the beginning without playing guitar, just so I could get the vocal like memorized and automated in a way, you know, like in my head, muscle memory, and then you add guitar and hopefully don't stuff up too much.
I've seen some little live clips, and it's awesome. So I was super impressed. Because I mean, you guys, you released what is it? Apocalyptic Violence. That's the album.
Yeah.
That was only in December.
Yeah. So Adorned and Ash is a bit of a strange one. It's always been quite a serious project, but it's never, we never had the intent to like make it huge just because of certain constraints. Our guitarist has just had a baby, and we've got kids with the drummers, and, you know, like the boys are all about 15 years and up older than I am. So they've got their lives sort of set. And for me, it's always been so much fun performing with AIA, but it's never been like the project that I'm going to push 110%, just because it's not something that it would work for everybody, and it needs to work for everyone. So AIA's second album came out, December 2019. And it's also received quite a lot of like good vibes, and I think it was cool. That album took forever to write and forever to come out, but it is 14, 15 songs long. So yeah, perhaps that's why.
So good. I love it. But I mean, in regards to you playing live with your solo material, do you have a band that you've put together?
In South Africa, it's a bit difficult to have a fixed band for something like this. Firstly, to find the musicians that complement the style, complement the playing, and who gel correctly. And when you do find them, there's only a handful in the country, so they are terribly busy. And so when I do perform live, it's either a new group of faces, so it's just like a rotating band, or I perform solo as well. It might be strange to some people, but I run around on stage enough to hopefully make it entertaining to just be a one-man or a one-woman.
Yeah, well, hey, that's really cool, because I was going to say, you must get hit up by people for guest spots as well. Do you do a lot of that?
Yeah, I have done a lot. In the past years, a lot of guitar, a lot of vocals, especially I'd say in the last 5 years in particular, there's been a high demand for vocals. So I've done a lot of that. Although I still am a guitarist first. So fortunate to be working on a lot of stuff. Not all of it, like I won't put my name on all of it just because it's not about me. It's about them, you know, and about supporting cool artists and helping them with their sound and like pursuing that. And then, other projects, I've been fortunate enough to like work with wonderful musicians and collaborate and do cool things. And there's more coming. So that's cool.
Oh, that's exciting. And in regards to your heroes, we were talking about like Devi, Periphery before. Have you met some of these guys along the way? Have you contact with some of your heroes?
Yeah, I mean, I've been very fortunate over the last couple of years, or the last decade, I'd say, to have been able to travel and perform with people not only locally and within Africa, but like people from all over the place. And some big names, I mean, AIA opened for Cannibal Corpse at one stage. Like, you know, so those kind of guys is big. There's been everybody from like Cataclysm, Epica. We performed with Periphery and Norma Jean on the more gent side of things. There's been a long list of bands, and it's been very awesome to do that. As a solo artist as well, it's also been a lot of fun just connecting with people. But to me, I'm just like in awe to be playing with skilled musicians. I don't really care where they come from or what genre, as long as they're enjoying it and it sounds good to my ears, I'm stoked.
Who's been the coolest? Who's been the one that's really knocked you down when you met them?
Knocked me down?
Well, like, you know, you've gone, whoa, hey, you know, like bit starstruck, I think you'd say. Who's been the...
Oh, probably everybody. I'm like that kid in the backstage going like... So whenever I'm like, that hey guys, I'm that guy. Like the rest of my bands always get very upset. They're like, calm down, it's just another person. I'm like, but that other person is awesome.
To be Corpsegrinder. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Fisher is actually like, he's a really chill dude as well.
Yeah.
I was like, hey. And he was just like, stop, man. Nice show. And then he walked off and I was standing there going like, what?
Legend. What a legend. And of course, you were talking a little bit about South Africa and your scene over there, and you're saying it's a little small, but how far can you I've never been, obviously. I'm in my little bubble here on the Gold Coast. How far can you sort of travel and tour and stuff over there? How far does it reach?
So, I mean, I've just relocated from one side of the country to the other side, like quite far north, all the way south. And
Wow.
from Johannesburg down to Cape Town is about 1,500 kilometers stretch. So the country itself is, I think, we're like the size of we're the size of Texas or something like that for the Americans to use as a scale, I suppose. But I'd say there's maybe 3 or 4 hotspots where you can perform, and certain genres do better in certain areas, as always. So you would be able to play a couple shows, Joburg and Cape Town in particular. Those are like the 2 big ones where you can get like a decent following. And then up the garden route, so up the coast, the East Coast, there's a nice stretch of awesome bars, and if you catch it during like spring and summer, and it's a rad time. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, as much as I love traveling and touring in South Africa and in Africa, it's like I want more. I want to see more. I want to do more, meet more people. I want to come jam with you and hang out and stuff, you know.
Have you ever been down here?
Not to Australia, but I'm told that if lockdown continues, perhaps if I swim, if I swim in that direction right here, I've been told,
yeah, and
it's going to take something like a year or something. But if I swim really long and hard, I'll eventually get to Australia. So maybe soon.
That's hey, it's funny. I said the same thing to a mate of mine who he's up here, and the rest of his band are in Sydney, so they can't cross the border. So I said to him, I said, you build a raft, they build a raft, and then they just jam on it like a little island somewhere. Yeah, it's not going to work. But hey, we can dream. But I reckon hopefully soon it's going to get lifted so you can come and hang out with us, because we would love to see you. Even you came down, did some clinics, show us what you got. It would be awesome. It'd be so good.
I'd love to. I've always said I want to play on the stages of the world with the people of the world, and I just want to learn from everybody. So I think I said it yesterday to somebody, like, yeah, I'm on social media, I'm everywhere. Like, let me know, you've got a gig, I've got a bag packed over there. I'll just cover this thing and grab my guitar and then we go. Like, where's the plane? Let's go. Like, I'm excited, I'm ready, let's do it. Band, no band, whatever, let's go.
Gonna be there. Well, mate, that would be so cool. I'd love to see you play live. That'd be so sick. And of course, I mean, you got more recording planned, obviously solo, AIA stuff. What's on the menu?
Yeah, a lot more solo things, and a lot of collaborations as a solo artist with other solo artists and other bands, and a lot of touring, hopefully, when we can. Adorned and Ashes may be on a little bit of a hiatus now. The boys are all experimenting and doing their own things. I mean, we've been together for 11 years, so it's about time that we look at other people and just ourselves, So the boys are all off doing their own thing. We will continue to play shows and such, so that's rad. But the future for me is, this is all just the beginning. I don't want an ordinary life, and I don't think it is or will ever be. So it's just more and exciting things. So I'm amped because this is a journey.
Mate, that's so infectious. Your enthusiasm and your passion is really there. I'm sitting here just going, man, I just want to go jam now.
Yeah, dude. Guitar, let's go. I've got one here somewhere. Let's do it.
Well, Robyn, it's been awesome hanging out with you, mate. And, whenever that time comes, we'll see you down here. Falling Forward is out now everywhere through all the streams. I'm going to have all the links, as I usually do, right here somewhere. So go get it, people. It's amazing. And thanks again. I hope you stay safe out there.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. This has been so awesome. Let's hang out all the time. It's so rad. And maybe I'll see you. Well, I hope to see you very, very soon. And yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
No worries. No worries. Stank faces. Cool. Yeah. That's a screenshot.